Hey, high five, virtual high five. Good things are coming our way, aren't they? Yes, they are. Today, I'm going to talk about mean people. Well, okay, mean girls, but you know what? I'm going to talk about mean guys too, because they're out there. They just do things a little bit different than the girls do, okay? So what I want you to do, ready? I want you to watch it all the way through. Go all the way. It's only 20 minutes. And I want you to subscribe. Check your subscription. Make sure you subscribe. And well, without further ado, let's get going, okay? Let's go. Okay, let's get started. Yeah, I want to talk about the mean girl thing and the mean guy thing. It's just the mean people thing. Some people are more prone to it than others. And what I'm going to talk about today, well, I have a letter I'm going to read to you, and this is what prompted it. It came in just yesterday. I have so many of your questions that they're logged and they're put in a safe place, and I'll get to them, but I want to address this today, right away. Well, one reason is because I love to talk about human behavior. That's where my interest lies. I'm just so fascinated by humans. You know why? Well, they're pretty scary, aren't they? We humans, we animals, I mean, we're kind of creatures, you know, we've got this intelligent brain up here. But, you know, we got this front lobe, which other animals don't have. And we're fascinating. We're scary though. But we're sweet and we're wonderful. We are lovable. We have to learn to love each other. But there are some that are just downright scary. And I'm not saying that we can't change. I believe that we can change. Woo woo, we got ambient noise going on here. I believe that we all can change, but it takes some help. You know what I mean. It takes some help. With the help and with turning our hearts over, that we can start transforming into a more loving creature, okay? More loving person. But I'm going to talk about where this mean girl thing even came from, that we started classifying it, so it wasn't that long ago, and what we can do about it. But I do address in the workplace. And I will also mention, I'll talk briefly about it. I was bullied. I did have a mean girl that other people followed her in the workplace. So let's get started with this. I want to read this letter. It is from, I love this, Erin Lee 933. That rhymes. I love it. Yes. She's got a nice, I really love your look, your picture too. She says, I'm 50, and today, listen to this, I'm 50, and today my boss made a texting error and sent a message in the wrong thread. Now her boss did this, and she writes, Erin writes, her boss, and a coworker apparently referred to me as Wrinkles. And they are in their early 30s. That's pretty young. I mean, early 30s? Can you imagine? That's like, when we look at this, a lot of us older ladies, we look at this like, wow, they're babies. They're little babies. What, to be in their early 30s, like 32, 33? Wow. Yeah. None of my kids are even at that age anymore. Well, that's not true. My youngest one is. Okay. I'm not sure how or if to address this tomorrow, and don't have anyone in my life I can really ask advice from. I am hurt that people I sincerely like are making fun of me behind my back, and wonder if the mean girl crap ever ends. I don't know, not until he takes care of it, I think, and changes us into more loving creatures. I don't know whether to address it or play dumb, or how the heck to not feel insecure about my looks. Anyway, Random question for sure, but you seem open to answer anything, and I am. I mean, I can be the dear Minivan Lee show here, like Dear Abby. What I do is I do have knowledge of this because I do have a degree in psychology and a degree in sociology, both. So, there's a train going by. And I do have my fan on low right there. So if you do hear things in the background, I think you've known me long enough to know in it's summer that I probably have a fan going. And so, yeah, ask me anything. But what I also do is I just don't pull. I'm pretty keen on knowing how to grab stuff. And so I do research on it, which I did today. Anyway, random question for sure, but you seem open to answer anything, and I'd love your thoughts on this. Aging is hard enough. Tell me about it. And we all are going through this. Being made fun of for it is gross. Anyway, thank you for being here. Well, you're so welcome, Erin. Erin Lee 933. I know, I love that. Okay, yeah, I will tell you, having a YouTube channel, I've been through it too. I mean, not in a workplace, but I do know the workplace. I've got the experience of it. And I'll just briefly tell you about that, but I want to talk about you, Erin. I've been made fun of on YouTube, on comments about my looks. Not so much anymore, but because I've gotten kind of rid of most of them that might want to do it. But in the beginning of anybody starting a YouTube channel, you're going to get razzed. It's just there. It's a given. If you don't have very many subscribers, you can be picked at like a sick chicken. They'll pick at you. You don't have that many subscribers and you don't have that many views, and they'll just pick at you. The worst, I think, it really hurt my feelings. And I've mentioned it before, is that somebody said it was in the first like 4 or 5 months. They said, I can't take you seriously till you get your teeth worked on. Really? Wow. I did not promise anybody a rose garden. We're dealing with a YouTube channel, okay, where I'm not really making that much money. It's not like I'm in the big screen, okay? I'm not Angelina Jolie, okay? I know. I've mentioned it to people before, and they go, "What's wrong with your teeth?" Well, I got like a little bit of a space in between my two teeth there. I don't know. It's like, yeah, people, and I've been made fun of my hair, the way I dress. Oh my goodness, yeah, no, I've been made fun of. So, but that's not in the workplace, and that's especially gross. Okay, so, Erin, I'm going to start. Look, I took some notes, everybody, so I'll be reading this. I don't want to pretend that I'm reading from the screen, a teleprompter, yeah. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of history of this mean girl thing. This has been going on for eons, for centuries, for civilizations, yes. Mean people are mean. We're humans. I mean, humans can get mean. I mean, they just are. So, but in 2002, in 2002, Rosalind Weissman wrote the book, Queen Bees and Wannabes. I have not read it, but I think I might actually like to read it. I'll probably get maybe the audiobook and listen to it while I'm like working out. But so then later on, and this book was the inspiration for the Mean Girls movies, the Mean Girls. Before that, being mean girls and bullying was way under-recognized in schools and probably even in the workplace, because I think what happens is mean girls in school grow up, and then they're still mean girls because they haven't changed. That's in their nature. And then we'll go on the characteristics of what a mean girl, what the underlying problem of these people who want to be mean girls. I've experienced mean girls. Yeah, you bet I have. I will tell you probably my first mean girl situation. I mean, I have mentioned that, I would definitely on the bear, the man, which would you rather be stuck in the woods with, right? I picked man because man has never really abused me. I've not been abused by men, but I have been abused by females. I remember, this is this is a sad story, but at age 5, this was way back in a small town, and it was in the winter, because I remember I had all my winter hat on, that kind of tied under the, and you went around and tied, and I had my winter coat on. I was in kindergarten. We only went half day, and I went in the morning. And so, but I walked home from school by myself. I mean, it was probably 8-9 blocks away. I walked home by myself at noon or whatever the time was. And these 2 girls were obviously not too far from my house. Oh, I can picture it right now. I pictured the girls. I was 5 years old. This was my first horrible experience with other mean girls. And there was one, she was older than me. Her sister was probably my age. And then she had an older sister who, if I was 5, she was probably like maybe 7. Well, I was walking by and they stopped me. They both stopped me. And they wouldn't let me pass. And then they threw me in the snow. And I'm 5. I'm this little kindergartner. Threw me in the snow, held my face in the snow. I was terrified. I was traumatized. Yeah, so I know mean girls. That these, and they probably grew up to be mean girls, because I don't know. Maybe they had a mean girl. The adult caregiver was a mean girl in the house. I don't know, and they probably, I don't know why they were home from school. I don't know, but they wouldn't let me pass, and I didn't know. I wanted my mommy. I wanted my mommy really bad, and when I got home, I don't know, my mom really didn't go down there, and because I told her what happened, and she was like, oh my God, getting the snow off of me and everything, and I was crying, but she didn't go down there. Yeah, sometimes things were different back then. This would be 1958. Things were a little different. Maybe they didn't want, yeah. So I know, those are my first mean girl encounters, okay? Yeah, sometimes I do have trust issues, and I've dealt with what I consider to be mean girls off and on throughout. Not in high school, though. Not in high school. I never met a mean girl in high school. I don't think we had mean girls in high school. I don't think we did. I don't, if there was going on, they didn't attack me. Okay, so that was the first. And that was the first. The Mean Girls movie really showed and it was the underbelly. It was an under-recognized type of bully. Also, even though they may not act like it, mean girls care a great deal about what others think of them. Yeah, they do. So please, Erin, know this, okay? Because you're the main character here. You're the main person. And we're going to be talking to you and for you. And if anybody else has any suggestions, please leave in comments or tell your story. If you tell your story and I get enough of them, I'll do a whole nother one, and we'll put them out there. And because I did do a previous one on Mean Girls, and I'll leave the link for it at the end. Got to watch it all the way to the end. So now here's some of the underlying reasons. Envy. Girls who use mean behavior often struggle to acknowledge anything good about other people due to envy. Yeah. So they're insecure, they're envious of other people. They also care a lot about what others think of them. Mean girls usually have an exclusive group of friends that they do everything with, like your boss and the other woman in their late 30s. Maybe they've got a couple more that you don't know about. And you said that you liked them. It really hurts because these are people that you liked. Okay? Okay. Mean girls may even withhold kindness and friendship from anyone who does not meet their physical standards. These behaviors are sometimes motivated by a sense of insecurity. Yeah. See, I'm going to put this down just for a minute. I want to mention this. That women, because we as females, and this is true of society, it doesn't mean it's for everybody, but the bell curve. I always talk about that bell curve, right? You got the outliers over here, but when you're doing statistics, you want to go with what's at the top of the bell curve. The most percentage of people that do something. Doesn't mean everybody does it, because sometimes on the bell curve you're way down here, and sometimes you're way over here at the flat line, or you're an oddity. You're called an outlier. Well, the top of the bell curve, most of females, we are valued for our looks, our physical appearance. Why? Because we need to get married. Okay, this is where a lot of it comes out. And I don't care what anybody says, oh, well, that doesn't go anymore. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yeah, girls want to get married, and they want to have babies, and they want to make a nest for their offspring, and they want a man who can provide a bird, like a bird. They want to build their nest, and they want a male bird who can bring them things, food, things like that. So yeah, it's human, yeah. So but we need to be physically, for humans, the females need to be physically attractive, because men are very visual. Okay, so this is where women usually get attacked by men and women. Not just women, but other men will attack the physical appearance also. So they'll attack that, okay? Men tend to attack other people for what they're lacking in skill and status, whether it could be money status, power status, things like that. But the skill, that could be in status. Men are more apt to go at another male because of the status and skill. If you get two construction workers, not just two, if you get construction workers working together, and you got some doofus who's not pulling his weight, who's not doing his job properly, they will go after, and they will just gossip about him and make fun of him. They really want him gone, because he's dangerous to work with, and he's not pulling his weight. And men, that's what they look for. Men tend to look for skill, right? And how many, if there's mean boys, well, I'll talk about that in a minute, because we're going to talk about that there are mean boys too. But this is one of the reasons why they're mean girls. They go after your looks, because this is what we are valued for in society, right? Now we get older, and I understand, and you're 50, so you're just coming towards that. And I understand that you're just coming towards that. You're getting older. I'm sure by your picture, you don't have that many wrinkles, but because they're younger, they're going to play on that, because they're mean girls. Yeah, right? Yeah. Let me tell you something, Erin. As you do go on to, once you start reaching 60, it gets so much better. By the time you're 70, oh my gosh, yeah. 70 is the golden. So make sure you keep your health going so you can enjoy your 70s. Don't be sick in your 70s, because I'm telling you what, 70s are the sweet spot. Maya Angelou said that one time on Oprah Winfrey. And she said it way back. I remember it. And she said, Oprah, I'm the same age as Oprah, and Oprah was 60. And she goes, Oprah, she goes, wait till you get, and Maya was 70, in her 70s, she goes, wait till you hit 70. She goes, it's wonderful. And since I've reached 70, it really is wonderful. What happens is that even if you have wrinkles and you're older, you're going to notice things in your 60s that people will start to dismiss you. They won't, men don't really look at you much anymore and things like that. But you know what? In a way, it's kind of like you just get used to it, and you say, it's okay. I had one older couple, they were kidding, of course, and they said, yeah, we always laughed to go, we could become professional assassins. Nobody would even notice us anymore, because nobody notices us as we're out and about, So I always laughed about that. I thought, that's probably so true. Where was I? It's going to be a long one, by the way. Okay, next. Mean girls have a strong desire to be popular and in charge at school. Now, at the workplace, their goal is to be at the top of the social ladder. Yeah. Mean girls usually have an exclusive group of friends that they do everything with. Once the group is established, it's rare that they invite others to be part of their friend group. Yeah, I've never really known that. I've never known that because I'm really more of a one-on-one. I like to just have one. If I'm interacting with somebody, a human, I like it one-on-one. I'm really good in a partnership just with one person. If you start getting into like I mentioned before, like at the meetups, we had those 2 meetups, one each year. I was so overstimulated. I don't know what I was doing half the time there. I'm sure I made some enemies. I just was overstimulated and it was really difficult. I like one-on-one. So they talked a lot about rational aggression. This is what they call the bullying like that is called rational aggression, which means rational aggression is an insidious type of bullying that often goes unnoticed by adults. Rather than causing physical harm, rational aggression is intended to hurt someone's personal relationships or social standing. See, right? Yeah, they'll hurt someone's personal relationships. I really experienced that last summer here in Flagstaff. I had mentioned that there was like a girl group that was here and they were parking in the place where I parked and where Paul parked and everything. Yeah, they were kind of cliquey. And they certainly didn't feel like they liked me because, I was usually working. I was editing and I really just I don't do well with a big group. I do better one-on-one. Well, they kind of, a couple of them kind of turned against me. And they did want to pick at Paul and our relationship. Yeah, they made friends with him. And yeah, so, yeah, I know a lot more than they think I do. People who engage in rational aggression aim to make you look bad to others. Oh yeah. Yeah. And see, if they're making fun of you behind your back. And it's so interesting that you got that email. I think that was a Freudian slip, wasn't it? And so I'm going to come on some things that you can do. Adult bullies are less likely to try their tactics on you again if you appear confident and in control. Here it says, if you are experiencing rational aggression, rest assured that there are different ways you can attempt to deal with it. 1, just appear confident and in control at all times when you're at work. You have no control over what other people say or do, but you do have control over your response. No matter what an adult mean girl says or does, remain polite and professional. Yeah, you got this, Erin. You got this. Bullies want their targets to be passive about their behavior. Show them that they made a mistake in harassing you, and they will learn to leave you alone. There goes the tree. If you have a workplace bully, don't allow their behavior to derail you at work. Don't fire off angry emails or talk with other coworkers about what is happening. Okay? Of course, you may want to take action by reporting any abuse or harassment to your Human Resources Department, HR. Removing yourself from harassment instead of responding may be the best course of action. Now, here's the last one. I like that. Do not allow the bullying to continue. Contact Human Resources or your supervisor. It's also a good idea to keep a record of all the bullying incidents, including dates, times, and witnesses. Keep all electronic correspondence that includes that email, especially if the office mean girls is a workplace cyber bully. Okay, let me get comfortable here because we're going way over, but that's okay. I think that's okay. I think this is an important subject, especially for you, Erin. You just experienced this, right? Okay, you know what I would do? I would not go to them. What I would do is go to HR and show it to them. Just show it to them. As long as you know for sure that they really are talking about you. because I didn't read the email. So make sure that that it really is you, that because HR might say, well, this could be anybody who you're just assuming that they're talking about you. So you need to, like, they probably are. If you feel they are, they probably are. Although every once in a while, it could be they were mentioning somebody else. That is pretty weird, though, to get an email in the workplace using the word wrinkles. Yeah. So you're probably right, but I didn't read the email, so. But that's what I would probably do. Okay, I want to talk about the men. Do you remember William Zabka? I'll put the pictures up here. William Zabka. I mean, he was in Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, right? He was in Just One of the Guys. I love that movie. That's a great cult movie from the 80s. Oh my gosh. If you haven't seen it, it is good. And he was also in Back to School. He was the bully. In every one of these, he portrayed the bully. He's just an actor. I'm sure he's a really nice guy, but he did portray this in the 80s. He was the bully. He was the mean guy. Not the mean girl, but the mean guy. And he had a group of people always around him. And in all of these movies, in The Karate Kid, remember? And then in Just One of the Guys, he had guys that hung around him, but he was the cult leader. Right? And then in Back to School, yeah, he was a frat boy, and he was, yeah. So it's a very serious problem in schools, very serious. And I can't remember the name of the movie, but maybe you can, let me describe this, and maybe if you've seen it. It was about two girls, and I don't know, was it a true story? I don't know if it was a true story, but let me just mention this, and this might click you in. Both of the main characters, the girl who was being bullied and the cult leader of the mean girls in the school, that girl and the girl who was being bullied, they both were stars of soap operas. Like, you know, yeah, big soap operas. Like, you know, the Young and the Restless, you know, and then another one, yeah. So one was a blonde and one had dark hair, and that was a fascinating movie. I can't remember the name of it. I tried to look for it. If you know which one, but they were friends previously. And the girl chronicled, the one who was being bullied actually was filming all of what was going on, and her boyfriend was trying to help her, but after she committed suicide, he found this and took it to the officials. And then what they did was they confronted the girl. Fascinating movie, really good acting, but they both were stars of soap operas. I don't watch soap operas. I'd mentioned to a friend, she goes, who was, Young and Restless was, oh my gosh, that was her thing. And she goes, well, both of those girls are stars of soap operas. And I go, oh, okay. I'm not a soap opera girl. So anyways, yeah, that was a fascinating movie. But I'm telling you what, that suicide from mean girl groups is high. It's getting higher. And they do say that the mean girls, they're getting more vicious, and they're harming. They're becoming not just making fun of people's appearance or whatever, but they're actually becoming physically, they're actually can kill. I saw one where this one mean girl, she took her head and slammed it on the cement sidewalk. I mean, this is what I saw it on YouTube. I mean, I gasped. And you could see the girl, then she went on to attack another person, and you could see the girl laying there, and she was going through, and we were watching that poor girl die. Yeah, it was pretty bad. So, but the boys, if you notice, like William Zabka, on his character, what he did, he called him, he didn't although he did in Just One of the Guys, he would pick him up by there and give him a wedgie. I mean, that must have hurt. Pick him up by the back and just lift him up like he was working out with them. There were a bunch of geeks. He goes, twerp. You know, they're twerps, they're geeks, they're idiots, you know, yeah. So I think that the guys also can be physical, but there are mean guys out there too. It's not just girls. And just like being a Karen, I mean, yeah, a lot of Karens are females, But when there's a male, they'll say a male Karen, a male Karen. They call him Carrie, but yeah, they said it's Carrie, you know. But yeah, well, I hope this helped you. I was going to talk about my time when I worked for the school system, but I won't. I may have mentioned it before, but yeah, I was bullied in the school system, and eventually I just left. I left because I noticed that other people would join in, and they were all just gossiping, and I just didn't fit in. God didn't want me there. He just didn't want me there. So there you go. But I was a good worker, and later they called me and wanted me back, and I just said no thank you, no thank you. Yeah, I was polite, but I said no thank you. Yeah, I found something else. So well, this is a long one, and I know that I'm going to get a lot of responses, so please leave your comments for Erin. And Erin, do a follow-up with me and let me know how things turned out for you, okay? So please subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. I love you guys. Don't just be confident, and don't let it go on. It's got to be stopped. It just does. And there are the ways that if you need to watch this twice, go ahead and do it. I love you. Till tomorrow. Bye.